Hey girl, how's it
Yeah,
going?
good.
Awesome. Did you have a good day today?
Yeah. Pretty
Yeah,
busy.
crazy. Yeah, I feel you. It's been like crazy. It's always my husband left today. He's been gone. I mean, he's been here for 2 weeks and he left for 3 weeks. So
Oh,
I know it's been so crazy. I'm like, okay, now it's time to get back into like the routine of him being gone. So
yeah.
I feel you, girl. But we're almost halfway there. We've almost made it to the hump. So we'll
Yeah.
survive. How's everything going for you?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Your girls are like rocking it in the challenge group.
I know, they're
They
awesome.
are like killing it, like all of them. I was talking to Megan today actually about it, and I was getting some pointers from her on some stuff, and she like loves all three of them. She's like, oh my gosh, they're amazing. But she was like, I love the way that they're posting and their camaraderie, and she's like, they're tagging each other in their posts. She's like, these are like prime prospects for coaches to like join the team. And I was
Hmm.
telling her, I said, it's so funny that you say that, because I was like, this is a conversation that I was actually going to have with Katie eventually. And of course, like, you don't want to initiate that conversation too soon, because everyone's just getting started, and it's not like one of those things that is being said because you want to be like pushy with it, but it's just one of those things where they're so awesome, like that's the person that you imagine joining your team.
Hmm.
So I always giggle because the people that she was mentioning, there was a couple of mine, and then all three of your girls. She was like, "Dude, they would all be amazing." And I said, the funny thing is how our personality really attracts those type of people towards us. And I told her, I said, Katie reminds me so much of the people that she has in the group. And I said, she's the person that I was telling like right out of the gate too, like, oh my gosh, girl, you have to coach, like you have to do this, just because I think that it's so far and few in between that you find people like that you're just like, oh my gosh, they like exude that awesomeness that just has that spark that not everybody has. So yeah, anywho, we'll have to chat about that on another time whenever everyone's not on, because I know everyone's getting on now, but we need to talk this week, so let me know when's good for you.
Okay.
Hey, Courtney.
Hello.
How's it going, girl?
Good. How are you?
Good. It is almost hump day. Katie and I were just talking about it. We're going to survive. We're going to make it.
Oh,
How's
oh
it
yeah,
going?
of
How are you
course.
feeling? Do you feel like you're getting back into, like,
Yeah, I actually just did one of the I started restarted the 21 Day Fix Extreme today, so
awesome.
yeah, it was
And
good.
day one is like the hardest for me. When I started, I was like, oh my God, I can't walk. Oh, it was horrible. Plyo, I don't know what it is about the plyo. I've never been a fan of plyo though. Like, I do it because I know you have to, but it's not my jam, like not at all. So
Yeah, it's just like super high intensity stuff, so it makes your heart like just beats super
yeah.
fast, and it makes you want to just throw up.
Oh yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's just one of those that doesn't even feel good. It's not like a good feel good workout.
Hmm.
I think the biggest thing about it too is so much of it is always lower body, and I always feel like my legs are just going to give out from underneath me. I'm like,
See,
oh,
I like the lower body, and you guys talk about your legs hurting and you can't sit on the toilet seat, and
yeah.
I'm like, I want that feeling.
I know. And honestly, like, I wasn't like that in the beginning when I first did it. The first round of 21 Day Fix Extreme I did with really light weights. I was
What do you do with it now?
with tens. I use tens, and then I use like eights for like the light, and then I use 10 for
Mm,
the heavy. I used to use 15s though. I was like up to 15s for a while, and then I went back down because I haven't lifted weights in really months, probably since
mhm,
like February. So
mm.
yeah, but
I'm using, I think fives and eights right now,
yeah.
but
Yeah. And see, I'm using eights and tens, but the first time I did it, hey, Elise, I think I was using like threes and fives when I first
oh, okay.
started. So it wasn't, I mean, it was still bad. I was really sore, but I've progressed quite a bit to like heavier weights, but oh man, still killer, especially when you're going 1 minute rounds.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'm like super off topic. Okay, so last week, even though it cut out, which I'm so sorry about that, but last week we were talking a lot about just what you should be sharing on social media. the types of things that you should be sharing, not being married to like a post. If you see that it does really successful, then those are the ones that you definitely need to save, like not only the content, but also like the photos and everything that go with it. And you need to repurpose those posts. But if they don't do well and they flop, just know it's not a big deal. And, you know, it's just not obviously hitting your target market. It's not necessarily that it's not a good post. It's just not hitting your target market. We also talked about the whole idea behind sharing other people's posts that are like viral posts that go really, really big. You definitely want to be doing that because it helps you to gain more reach, because those videos are already so big, and because they're so popular and they're constantly getting likes, it's going to draw more attention to your page, even from outside people that aren't necessarily your friends. So I know for you, Courtney, I know that you're in a situation where it's a little different because your page is private, but we need to start talking next steps, which I know I was talking to Elise about it this week, for you getting your like page started. So we'll talk more on that. But and then we were talking about using royalty-free music, which is huge. If you're going to add music to your page, it has to be royalty-free music. If not, Facebook's going to shut it down. So you're just basically going to be completely cut off. Hey, girl. So using that, doing fill in the blank post, ABCD post, anytime you post a picture of like your child or your dog, you're going to notice you're going to get a lot more engagement from those type of posts, because that's stuff that is super relatable that people can relate to. And also look at other people's pages to get ideas, but don't like copycat them. Make it your own. Use the idea, but brand it with your own brand, and make sure that you're using your own images, not using like stock images. Any post, this is huge, this is so random, but I think we talked about this too, I don't know if y'all caught it, but any post about bacon or avocados like blow up, because everybody loves bacon and avocados. So if you're talking about something like that, that's huge. And then as your page starts to grow, you're going to get more organic engagement. And what I mean by organic engagement is going to be engagement that you're getting for free from the people that are within your network. So all of the people that are on your like page, or all of the people that are like on your page, that's organic engagement. Non-organic engagement would be like traffic that you're getting from people that are not already on your page, that are seeing your posts through somebody liking it or somebody sharing it to their page or making a comment on it. It'll show up on like their friend's timeline. So that would be non-organic. So organic would be anything that would be directly like affiliated with the people that either like your page or are your friend. So as you're creating these posts and your page is starting to grow, you're going to notice that you're going to have a lot more organic engagement. And then of course, once you set up your like page, you need to be posting everything to your like page. You can, and I love this quote. This is one of the quotes that Jesse Reagan used on the training. He said, you can run your business on your personal page, but Facebook will always have the ability to shut you down, because they don't like people using personal pages for business opportunities. But he also said, you can grow a business with a personal page, but you can build an empire with a like page, because with a personal page, you're limited to no more than 5,000 people. But with a like page, it's limitless. You can have however many thousands and thousands of people on your page. So, that's why it's so important to have a like page. So you want to be posting, and I know this might sound crazy to some of you guys, but you have to remember that you can also repurpose some of the posts that other people are doing and just share them to your page. I've been doing that a lot with videos, just to make sure that I'm increasing the amount of content that I'm posting every day. But he says ideally you should be posting 5 to 8 times a day. Now I can see how that would be somewhat overwhelming because you're busy, right? But when you're on your like page, you can pre-schedule your posts. So you could take one day that you're not so busy, say it's even on the weekend or whatnot, just take a little bit of time and you can pre-schedule out your posts. So it doesn't all have to be something that you're literally taking 5 to 8 times during the day and like sitting down and posting, because that's a lot. Like I don't even have the time to sit down 8 times a day and post to my social media. That's just crazy. But once you're able to actually schedule out your posts, you could really get on like once or twice a day and post, just something that you feel, right? Like we're all reading our book right now. So, if we wanted to get on and jump on and be like, oh, I'm reading this really awesome book, like that's something that's in the moment that you could talk about. But for everything else, you can pre-schedule it. So that's actually what I'm working on. I know I shared that with you guys, but some really good posts to do are like morning motivation. Make sure you're putting your brand to it, whatever it is that your brand is going to be. Create consistency by doing it. So if you're going to do morning motivation, like pre-schedule it out. Say you want to post it at like 6 a.m. You could pre-schedule it ahead of time to post to your page at 6 a.m. So that way you're not having to do it at 6 a.m. every single day. And then people love to give their opinion, so make sure that you're posting stuff that's kind of controversial. We talked about that too, to give people, the ability to comment and give their opinion on something, because we know everybody likes to do that. Okay, so that was kind of like the end stuff that didn't get recorded from the last call. So anyways, we're going to move on to the new stuff. So like we were saying, for material that you really, really like that you find on Pinterest or Google or wherever, take that material and you can either add like some of that to your photo. If you want to add part of like the quote, you could add it to your photo, or you could even just use one of your photos. It's a really cool photo, and then use it in the text, but like in bold, shouty words whenever you're typing out your post for the content that you want to share that goes with the photo. So say this was one of the ideas that he gave that I really love. So say, you want to talk about, some of the things that you're passionate about, right? Like say you're a runner and you love to run, but you also love wine and chocolate, and you want to kind of pull it all in together. He said you could take a picture of your running shoes with your glass of wine and your chocolate, and basically say the secret to working out is rewarding yourself with a glass of wine and chocolate after every workout. Like that would be a really cool way to share that content, but still make it original and make it yours. And it doesn't have to be running shoes, but you get the idea of like the whole idea of thinking outside of the box whenever it comes to creating your content. You can do a lot of things and stuff like that. The really cool thing about it is you can take those photos in advance. Like when you have time, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I'm constantly, when I'm in a place where I can snap like random stuff that I think that would be good later, I take a ton of pictures and then I go back and use those pictures later. I don't take every picture that I post to social media that day, because that's just too overwhelming. Like that would mean I would have to be on social media all day, and I don't have time for that. So what I do is I take a ton of pictures, just random times whenever I'm somewhere that either the lighting is really good or I have a really cool background or I'm traveling, and then I'll repurpose that later by adding a quote to it, or using it as like a morning motivational post or something like that. So stay away from like really salesy posts. I know in the beginning, I know personally, I can scroll back to my Instagram feed and I had posts where I literally had like a picture of like the stock photo of the 21 Day Fix stuff, and was like a sales post, a sales pitch. And it was horrible. But at the time, I didn't realize you weren't supposed to do that until I started doing training and realized, hey, that's not how you're supposed to go about it. Some other really cool ways that you could do it is you could do like an unboxing or an unveiling of like a program whenever you get it in. If you want to talk about that program, you can do live video with it. You could do a video that you record with it, or you could even take a picture of you like busting open the box, or like the box on your doorstep. I think was it you, Courtney, that did that the other day? Somebody took a picture of like the box on the doorstep the other day, and it was really good. But there's a lot of options.
Nope, wasn't me.
Wasn't you?
It was Brittany.
Oh, it was Brittany. It was Brittany. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Anyways, he did say though, which I know I used to use all the time, which is so funny because I used Pick Play Post for like a year. He said not to use Pick Play Post, and he hasn't given the reason as to why he doesn't want you using it. But he's like totally against it. And I don't know. I mean, I use iVideo now, or iMovie now, so it's not a big deal. But I haven't gotten to the point where he's explained why. That was just like a random like tidbit of information. So I don't know. I'm not sure. But I know that there are some other top coaches that use it. And, as long as you're seeing success with it and people, you haven't seen like engagement drop with it, it doesn't really matter. But I'll be anxious to see why he's saying not to use it. Some really good ways to like grab people's attention would be to say like make a really demanding statement, like a stopping statement to your post. So something like this is the scariest thing I've ever posted, or talking about hard things isn't easy, or I've never opened up and talked about my struggle with cancer, or I've never opened up and talked about my struggle with an eating disorder, like something like that is going to like stop people's attention, because they're going to want to know, hey, what is this chick talking about? Like, this sounds, you know, of course everybody's nosy and they like drama. They want to know what it is you're going to share. So something that's going to be like a stopping statement, even something like, oh my gosh, you have to try this, or you need to check this out. Come join me on my live feed to check it out, or something like that. So start thinking of like some stopping statements that you could use whenever you're going to make your post, especially for like a live video, because you want to draw people in and you want to bring them into your live video. So that's a really good way to do it. And even with your post, whenever you're going to do a post, say it's just like quick morning motivation, it doesn't have to have such crazy stopping power, right? Like a lot of times you're going to start it with a quote or something like that. But if it's a post that you're going to get into great detail and you're going to tell your story with it, you want it to have something that's going to have stopping power in the beginning first statement that they're going to see, that's going to cause them to stop and actually read all of the text that you're going to write that's going to go with your story. And I know we talked about this a little bit, but you need to make sure that you're liking your own posts. And then of course it helps whenever, you know, we all like each other's posts, because it increases the affinity for that post, which means it's going to be put in front of more people. So, anytime I see you guys post, like I constantly like it or comment on it, because comments even increase the affinity even higher. So anytime that there's that, it means more people are going to see your content, which is good, because that's what you want. You want it put in front of like a broader audience. Okay, so here's some tips that I thought were really good that he shared that go over like a good caption that you would want to use. Short and sweet one-liners. An example of that would be, diamonds were a girl's best friend and then yoga pants happened. Like something like that, that's like super catchy. Like somebody reads it and they're like, oh my God, that's gold. Like, I love that. Everybody loves yoga pants. Like, who doesn't love yoga pants? Another thing that you could do, it's called negative wording. I never thought, like, you're saying something negative, but you're putting a positive spin on it. So you could say something like, I never thought after I had my second daughter that I'd ever be comfortable in my own skin again, but, you know, and then you could go into your story. Like, that's when you'd be able to tell like what's worked for you and how you've been able to, you know, rise above, you know, what you thought your life would be like. You could talk in numbers. This is really good. People love like 1, 2, 3 steps. They love like A, B, C, D, like follow these steps and you'll be successful. People love things that are telling them exactly what to do. So you could say, okay, how to stay organized in 5 simple steps, or stay away from the junk food at the grocery store with these 5 simple steps, or, you know, anything like that. Anything that's going to give somebody like a step-by-step process. People love that. So that's a really good way to start a post too. You can use emotionally powerful words like, this was the example, I was destroying my body until I discovered a secret. So it's very powerful, right? Because you're talking about how you're destroying your body and how, you know, you're physically falling apart and you found a way to make better choices. And then you could tell your story. And then, of course, asking questions is always huge. You could, because you're relating to them and you're almost like you're in a coffee shop, like talking directly to this person, which is exactly what you want, because you want people to feel like you are like literally talking to them. So you would ask a question like, have you ever felt like you have no control over your life? Like, question. And then you could go into your story. So those are all some really great ways to be able to do it. Again, the first one was short and sweet one-liners. And then the second one was negative wording. The third one was talking in numbers. The fourth one was using emotionally powerful words. And then the fifth one was with asking a question. Other things that do really well are like lists, or even telling your story on a video on your like page, and you're just giving them your info.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Before you go on, can you repeat that part that you said for the example for emotionally powerful words?
Yeah.
You said about destroying my body.
Yeah. I was destroying my body until I discovered a secret.
Okay. Thanks. It just gave me an idea with telling my cancer story. So I had to read.
Absolutely. As soon as I heard that too, I was like, oh my gosh, you could put so many spins on this. That one is gold. And it's something that had me, when I read it and heard it for the first time, I stopped and I was like, oh wow, that's like really good. Like that would cause me to stop. So
Mhm.
And I always ask myself that even when I'm creating my posts. I wouldn't say that they're all like a 10, 10 out of 10, but I would say that I go back and I reevaluate what I'm saying, the wording that I'm using. Of course, you need to be rereading your posts at least 2 to 3 times before you're actually posting them. I know I've told y'all that I like to type them up in Evernote, and then it'll save it, right? And you can just copy it from your phone and paste the text into Facebook or Instagram or wherever you're posting it to. But I like to do it in there. That way I can type it on my computer because, one, I can type it a lot faster on my computer. And for two, I've always seemed to be able to come up with better ideas when I'm sitting at a computer typing as opposed to being on my phone. So I like to do it that way, and that seems to help me a lot. But I'll go back and I'll change it up like 2 or 3 times before I'll actually post it. But once you find a really good post, again, you can repurpose that content, and all you have to do is change it up slightly. You can change up a couple of sentences and be able to reuse the exact same thing with a different photo. So if you find something that you feel you're getting a lot of feedback on, and a lot of people are liking and commenting on, then that's a clear sign that your audience likes that and that you need to do more of whatever it is that you're sharing with that. Okay, so one of the biggest things whenever you do first start your like page is that you don't want to stop all of your income producing activities. So the things that are helping you to bring on 3 to 5 new people every month, you don't want to be stopping those things. So those things would include inviting. Those things would include, even recruiting, doing the posts that you're doing, a couple of times a month that are inviting to the coaching opportunity or to a challenge group. You're not going to stop that stuff just because you are now initiating your like page. Yes, you were doing everything on your like page, but there are ways to tag yourself in those posts. There are ways to share those posts from your like page to your personal page. So it's all about kind of shifting the attention from your personal page to your like page, because that's the whole purpose, is you're building it. So I don't post anything unless it's just like a picture of my kids or something, even directly to my personal page anymore at all. So, and I can see that it's making a difference. Like my like page is slowly growing. It just is going to take a lot of time. So you just have to transition it slowly and naturally and make sure that you're providing a ton of value to people, because that's what they're there for. If somebody's over there and they're liking your page, it's because you are a health and fitness coach and you are a badass and they want to follow what it is that you're sharing. So I'd honestly say the biggest thing is just being confident and just showing up every single day. And regardless of what it is that you're sharing, like, provide value. There's going to be some days that you're able to jump on and do live videos. And then there's going to be other days that are super crazy busy and you couldn't do a live video to save your life because your kids are running around in the background screaming or hanging from the ceiling fans or some crazy stuff like that. So some days are better than others. I kind of fell off from doing live videos for a couple of weeks just because everything was so crazy. But even though I wasn't doing the live videos, I was still posting a ton of content. Regardless, you should have your things that are non-negotiable for you that you post about every day. So for me, it's every morning I post something that's motivational. And then I always post a workout video every day. Those are the things I've consistently done for the past year and a half, every single day. You can choose whatever that is for you. It doesn't have to be that for you. It can be whatever it is that you want to share, but make sure that you are consistently sharing, stuff that your audience wants to see that's providing value and adding value to them. Even if it's just sharing a new recipe every day or a meal that you've, created every day, or even just shouting out one of your challengers. Someone that's doing awesome within one of your groups. Even if you're sharing, all the really cool stuff that's coming up, because we're going to be starting a free group. So there's a lot of stuff that you can share on your page, but you just have to think ahead of time and don't just randomly be like, oh man, I haven't posted all day to Facebook. I need to come up with this post right now. Right. So there's so much coming with the training, but one of the biggest things, aside from just finishing up that stuff from last week, is I wanted to talk about, our free group that we're going to run. So I've talked to Janie and I've talked to Elise and I've talked to Katie about it. I haven't talked to you yet, Courtney, but we're going to be starting a free group. I'm thinking maybe the last week of, the last week of this month. And I was thinking, so we haven't come up with what we want to call it yet. But we can do a number of free groups. It doesn't have to be something specific. We can do, crock pot recipes. We can do fitness and nutrition, you know, and put like a cool spin on the name of it. We've done how to eat and exercise for abs before. What are some of the other ones that we've done before? Oh, I did how to meal prep. I did a meal prep group, like a week-long meal prep group, because I was just getting a ton of questions about meal prep back when I was like prepping like crazy. So,
hey, Katie, so watching all the top leaders and randomly ask people what would you like to see live from me, or what would you group about, and they're all, every single one that I've seen is about prepping. Like everyone wants to know how to meal prep, how to like, I was even thinking maybe like meal budget where you spend like, let's say $4 at the grocery store and you 6 meals or 8 meals or something, like to figure it out, where maybe I go shopping at the grocery store and try to plan out meals where it's affordable, like maybe meal planning on a budget or something. Because people think that it's expensive to eat clean and it's really not.
Right.
So I was
right thing. Okay. I'm all game for that. I really am. I honestly feel like something like that, or even doing a like a crock pot, just because it's about to be fall, might go over well, just because everybody's into that. But I mean, we could even do that in October or November. That's not really a big deal. But I honestly, when I did my free group for the crock pot recipe, I had like 20 people in that group, and it was just me. But it was free, so of course more people are going to be in the group. Now, there wasn't as much engagement within the group, but actually, after listening, did y'all listen to the National Wake Up Call this week? Has everyone listened to it yet? No? Okay, y'all definitely need to go listen to it, because it had a lot of good points. But she was talking about free groups, and or maybe this was the one from last week. She was talking about free groups, and she was saying that one of the things that she does is she gets them set up within the free group, and she oh, you know what? It was on the training I'm doing. Just kidding. Never mind, guys.
I was going to say, last week was Anita Myron.
Yeah, no, I knew I heard it somewhere. I have some going on. I'm forgetting where I'm hearing stuff. It was on the training that I'm doing. Sorry, guys. That was so off the wall. But anyway, she's talking about free groups. And so she was talking about some of the things that she does within the free groups. But she was saying that what she does is she gets these people interested in the free groups. And then once they show that they're interested, she sends them the link to her oh gosh, what's it called? Her form, which not everybody has forms, but for those of you that do, to her form. And then she has them fill the form out and then send it back to her. And then she either gets them on the phone or sends them like an audio message through Facebook Messenger, and basically tells them like, I'm so excited that you filled out the form. Like, I'm really excited to get to know you more and to be able to help you within this free group. You know, if you need anything from me in the meantime, like, please feel free to reach out. Just again, taking that extra step to build the relationship. But anyways, I thought it was a good idea to do the form, only because through doing the form, if they're really interested and they really are going to engage with you in the free group, which is the whole purpose, then they're actually going to fill out the form. If they don't have skin in the game, then they're probably more than likely not going to engage within the free group anyways, which basically shows you right out of the gate that they wouldn't be a good potential like challenger for your group, and they wouldn't be a good potential coach to join your team. So what they were talking about a lot was getting people to engage with you, and how it's so important to not have that scarcity mindset and think that, oh, if I send them a form and they don't fill it out, then, you know, I'm just not going to have anybody in this group, or I'm not going to have enough people. But you need to also look at it as you're going to be providing a ton of value to these people. And if they really are interested in getting it, they'll take 2 seconds to fill out a form to join the group. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. But anyway, she was talking about that. So I thought it was kind of a cool idea. But again, like, we can get more into that as we get the ball rolling with running these free groups again. But I really think it's a good idea for us to do it. I really think it's a good idea for us to do it together, because we can get more people involved and get people excited about it. So I don't know, I guess a show of hands, like who wants to do meal prep, and are there any other ideas for what you guys want to do?
What if we do something, because to really, which we kind of briefly talked about this on the phone,
Yeah,
was is like get them to sign up for the free Beachbody on Demand, and then them kind of like browse through like one of the member library's free programs, and then along with it do just some type of like meal plan thing, not necessarily meal prepping, which I mean meal prepping will be kind of part of it, but like also kind of like a meal plan where that way it's how you were saying like the whole fitness and nutrition type of thing, but put a spin on
together
what to call it.
Yeah. No, and I agree, because I feel like there's some kind of way that we need to get them in into the group with some type of skin in the game, as far as like us already getting them signed up underneath us as their coach. So I agree. I'm just kind of trying to figure out how we can combine the two, you know?
Yeah. Plus, it'll be good to so that way they can see the Fixate, because it already has like the parent, it already has meal prepping, like kind of things. And that could be one of the things like for the days that we tell them, okay, this day you need to go watch this and watch that, and explains.
Do they have access to Fixate?
Yeah.
Do they have access to
30 days?
Just the free membership?
For free for 30 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's another way that maybe we could approach it, which I didn't think about, but maybe we could do like a meal prep group and then bring them in under the Fixate stuff, and then just let them know, hey, you also have access to 30 days. Like if you're interested in focusing on fitness too, you can try any of these workouts on there, but not really make it a requirement. You know what I mean? Like just let them know that it's there and it's free and at their fingertips, make a big deal about it. But I would say focus, if we want to do meal prep, then we need to focus on the nutrition. That's what I'm thinking.
There was also, did you guys see that post in the Thrive group about the Beachbody having like the membership like cheaper?
Yeah, and I don't know if y'all have heard about that. But so Beachbody offers, it used to just be $40 a quarter. It was $39.95. You paid that every quarter. Recently, though, they came out with different options. So if you pay for 6 months in advance, you get it. I don't remember what the exact price is. And then if you pay for it for a year in advance, or for the whole year, it's like $100. And so when I signed up for it last, I just told them, hey, sign me up for a whole year, because it was the cheapest price. And I have used it always, and I'll always use it. So, it was a lot cheaper, because if not, I was spending $160 a year, as opposed to spending $100 a year, you know? So it was a lot cheaper. And plus they're offering so much more on there now than they were initially. I mean, really when it first came out, all you had access to were your free programs. I mean, that you had paid for. Like if you'd paid for a program, that program was on there. And then they had like a couple that you could like try out that were not your programs you paid for. But then they came out with all the challenge du jours, and then now they're coming out with the Fixate, and they came out with the whole program, the 21-day yoga retreat. Like that's exclusive to Beachbody On Demand. Everything is moving in the direction of Beachbody On Demand. I don't see it being that much farther into the future where they're probably going to do away with a lot of the actual programs, and a lot of stuff's going to be on Beachbody On Demand. I see it coming. That's what I see. But, they've started adding so much more value to it. They're trying to get a lot of people over there. So I think if we can offer it free for people for 30 days to kind of get them pumped up, we just need to figure out how long we want to run this group for. And if we're going to keep it strictly to nutrition, then we can totally like throw in there everything about Fixate and all the recipes they'll have access to, and, you know, the portion control and all of that. So what do y'all think about that?
I think so. Anybody have an idea on how many days you guys think we should do it for?
5.
5 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we do it 5 days, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if we do it 5 days, we need to do it on Monday through Friday. But we need to start the prep work like the Saturday before. So that way people will have time to go to the grocery store, buy everything that they need to buy, and have everything set up so that they can even start prepping on Sunday. And you know what I mean? Just have some stuff like ready for the week. So that's my thought. Like I always like to give it an extra couple of days, and then we could go like one day extra past that and do like a closing, like follow up, and then kind of like introduce them into the idea that we'll be running, you know, our next 30-day challenge group. And, you know, for anybody that is interested and wants to join like the paid group. And a lot of times the way I always approach it is, hey, if you've really enjoyed this group, then it's a great way to continue on your, you know, nutrition and fitness journey by, you know, joining the next group for some added support and accountability, that kind of thing. So you kind of like, you have to have a bridge there that's going to bridge the one group into the other. But
I always let them know that they get first pick, basically. Like they're the first ones to know about my next challenge group, so they feel important.
Yeah, that's a good idea, for sure. And again, at the end of the day, like the whole idea behind the free groups is to provide and add value to the people that are following you, because that's how you're building relationships with them, and that's how you're ultimately gonna, you know, bring people on either to your challenge groups or to your team. So just have that giving mindset. I feel like that helps a lot, because the first time I went into it with this mindset that I was going to bring these people over and they were going to join my next group, and it was all about like making that sale at the end. And so when that didn't happen, I was really like down about it and thought that I was failing at it, and that wasn't the case. It's just, that's not the purpose of the free group. You really have to look at it like that. The purpose of the free group is to provide value and add value to your customers. It's not, or the people that follow you. It's not to, you know, hopefully ultimately some people will roll over, but that's not the purpose of the group. So I think it's always just important to remember the purpose behind the group, and that it's to have that giving mindset, that you are, again, giving and adding value to these people by providing them with information that they otherwise wouldn't get. And that's the whole idea behind why it needs to be a really good group. Like, we need to be engaging with the people. We need to be providing like killer content that's going to like hook them and, you know, bring them in and make them feel like, oh yeah, she really is that person that I need to go to for this, because I have no idea what I'm doing. And she has all like an abundance of information. So anyways, anybody have any ideas on what we want to name this group? The last time I did it, I called it Meal Prep Like a Boss. That's what it was. But I mean, whatever y'all want to name it, I'm good with. But we need a name so that way we can start promoting it and talking about it, because now is a perfect time to start talking about it. So you're not salesy. You're posting about it, you know, one time a week, and you'll have a couple of weeks to start talking about it before the group actually starts. So.
So is it going to be a meal prep, or like Elise said, like a meal planning, like kind of like plan ahead? I mean, I guess they're kind of the same thing.
Yeah, mine, I always like approached it as like, this is a meal planning and prepping group. But I mean, I called it meal prep just because that term is so widely used right now. And I feel like it's one of those, it's like an attention grabber. But people are attracted to meal plans too, right? They want someone to just tell them exactly what to eat. And so I always in the group provide like a sample meal plan too, just to give them an idea of like, okay, this is what you should be typically eating for the day. Because people need that. They need that structure, because that's what they're lacking if they're failing at their nutrition. So, what else? Trying to think. We can brainstorm. So y'all brainstorm, start thinking of some names, and then we'll post it to the team page. That way we're not all like put on the spot right now. But anyways, just start thinking of some ideas of, you know, what we want to call it. But I think that's a good idea. I think, you know, 5 days of actual like material and like 2 days of prep work, and then like a follow-up day will be longer than enough. And okay, so aside from that, I already have the content for all of this. So what I'll do is I'll post it to the team page where you can post documents. I'll just like copy and paste it all in there, and then we can tweak it and make it whatever we want to make it. But this will also be a really great way for everyone to practice scheduling posts, because we can all go in there. And so what we'll probably do is like break the material out and be like, okay, day 1 is going to be Katie, day 2 will be Courtney, day 3 will be Janie, day 4 will be Elise. So that'll be like your day that you're responsible for the group, kind of like we're doing in the Health Bet right now. That way you can get familiar with the actual coaching aspect of it, and how to pre-schedule the posts, and you can kind of play around in there, because that's going to give you the practice you need for when you're actually like running your own groups on your own. So it'll be good practice if anything else. And there's no better way to practice than with a free group where the pressure is not really there like it is with the regular group. So anywho, okay, ladies. Well, I need a picture from tonight. So everybody say cheese. Okay. I'll send it to y'all. Oh, wait. That was a really bad one. Okay. I'm not good at this. Okay. Try again. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Cute. All right. Well, that's all I have. So if y'all have any questions or anything, need help with anything, let me know. But I'm really excited about this May Cause Miracles group too. So I'm really glad that we're all in there. I don't know how y'all are liking that book so far, but so far I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm. When does this free group start? What day? On the 19th or the
It's going to be the last. It'll probably be the last Monday of the month.
You know, that's Platinum Edge week.
That's what I was thinking. So that's why.
Let's shoot for October 3rd
Okay, that's good. I don't go on vacation until the 20th.
of October.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And I'll be in another country, so my access to you guys will be very limited.
Okay, so let's do it the 3rd then, and we'll run it from the 3rd to it'll technically start on the 1st, but it'll run through the 8th.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it'll run through the 8th. So we'll do it then. We'll start at the beginning of the month, and then hopefully that'll give us time to even bring in new leads by the end of the month. So,
Yeah.
okay, awesome. Sounds good. Okay, so for everyone that's going to be at the Platinum Edge, log back on because we're about to get cut off. Have a great night, ladies. Bye.
Bye.